Well, it's a fight for clean air, and it's no longer limited to Delhi alone. There was a ban on the sale of crackers and on bursting them in the capital, and Delhi woke up to another haze-filled morning. Yes, it wasn't as bad as it was last year. In fact, it was the best that we've had in 3 years. This tells you just how far we have slid down, but certainly not at the levels that we would like to see our children breathe in. Cities like Chennai and Mumbai so far considered safer because they are the coast, because they are coastal cities, not spared either. This even as an explosive Lancet Medical Journal study says that in 2015, 5 Indians died every minute because of pollution-related causes.
The good news at an AQI of 326, Diwali in Delhi was the lowest since 2014. But the bad news is that it rose sharply because of crackers. And levels will stay high in Delhi because there's little wind to blow the pollutants away.
Last year the situation was different. The scientific investigation proved there was some intrusion of the pollutant from the nearby states and nearby countries also. But this year such symptoms we have not received. Whatever is happening, it is in Delhi and nearby areas. And then of course, the weather condition is not supporting us.
But PM 2.5 pollutant concentration in several Delhi areas were many times the permissible limit. RK Puram was the highest at 10:30 this morning, hitting 978 micrograms per cubic meter. That's 16 times above the permissible limit. The larger pollutant PM10 hit a peak around 2 a.m. in Anand Vihar of 2400 micrograms per cubic meter, a staggering 24 times above what's safe limits. Some doctors are livid how despite the ban and known health risks, many went ahead lighting crackers.
Couple of places I saw people holding toddlers in their hand and bursting crackers. They are so oblivious, so ignorant about the damage it's causing. So they are actually poisoning their own children and still having fun.
Air pollution is a crisis far beyond Delhi, something that's been driven home in the last 24 to 48 hours. Jodhpur was 15 times worse than permissible at almost 900 points, Lucknow 14 times worse at 847. Ludhiana above 700 points and Amritsar around midnight touched 657. And beyond the north, a rude reminder from both Chennai and Mumbai. Chennai reached 1000 micrograms per cubic meter of PM 2.5 with Mumbai touching 566. Giving your children crackers on Diwali is as bad as giving them cigarettes. Hopefully in the years ahead, there'll be a blanket ban on crackers. And parents will be a little more cautious and careful about the air they provide to their children. With camera person Xavier, this is Divya Wadhwa for NDTV.
Right, so it's no longer a battle just that one that Delhi needs to wage, but a battle that India now needs to come together to fight. Of course, we're asking if India can regain its clean air, its right to breathe clean air. Let me introduce my panel to you right away. I'm joined by Dr. Arvind Kumar, Chief of Robotic and Chest Surgery at Gangaram Hospital. Anumita Roy Chaudhary, Executive Director at Center for Science and Environment, is with us. Adarsh Shastri of the Aam Aadmi Party and Shaina NC of the BJP are also joining us this evening, as is Ronak Daria, founder, Urban Sciences, a data monitoring organization. Let me start by asking you, Dr. Kumar, this new Lancet study, which has come up with some alarming figures. In 2015, 5 Indians were dying every minute because of pollution-related causes. It's not just air pollution, but air pollution is one of the key causes. Are you surprised by the numbers this is talking about? Because this is very explosive, or is this now to be expected?
No, I am not at all surprised by the numbers which are mentioned in that study. In fact, my guess is that actual numbers may in fact be even higher. If you look at the air quality index of Delhi itself in the last 1 year, most of the times we've been in the red zone, which is equivalent to smoking about 15 to 20 cigarettes a day, which is why I am repeatedly making this very bold statement from all TV channels that in India there are no non-smokers. Each one of us, even in the baseline days, without the spike in pollution, is smoking 10, 15, 20 cigarettes a day. And when you have this sudden, severe rise, as happens at the time of any festival bursting crackers. Deepavali, a lot of people are raising this question, why target Deepavali?
But it's not
targeting Deepavali, it's because Deepavali is the highest in number and volume. So therefore, this was the first place from where removal of crackers should have been started and was started last year, this time. So it leads to a spike in pollution. A lot of people are saying that it's only a matter of 3, 4, 6 hours. Now let me state this loud and clear, that the chemicals which come out of the crackers are the most toxic, most deadly chemicals. They go inside the particulate matter as well as the chemicals, and they don't get cleared in 100%. They remain inside. So even the 4 to 6 hours of so-called short exposure actually has these chemicals. These chemicals remain inside your lung forever. They are there forever. They cause you damage forever. So it's not a matter of just few hours. You are actually exposing yourself to lifelong pollution in those 4 hours. And you will repeat it next year and next year and next year.
Right. Okay. I know that, there was of course this whole debate when the ban on the sale of crackers came in. We know that the CSC wasn't really in favor of a ban. Your point of view, of course, being that, again, what does it achieve in the short run? What happened last night, of course, we saw. How does that sort of make you feel?
Natasha, we have been tracking pollution in 13 air quality monitors over the last 24 hours, right, by the hour. And we've seen that amazing build-up, scary build-up that had happened during the last night. So if you look at the 24 hours average, it was 6.6 times higher than the standard. And if you look at the nighttime pollution, where the levels, the maximum levels had gone up to 1300 microgram per cubic meter. Absolute gas chamber, absolutely emergency. And what is very unfortunate that this season, this is the first experience with emergency level in this city and NCR. Okay, so far, because a lot of other action that we were taking, we have shut down Badapur power plant, we have shut down the brick kilns in NCR, the action on trucks, all these were helping to keep the pollution levels not very low, but at least poor to very poor level. But there was a reversal last night, and we just hit that maximum emergency level. Now this means, this also happened because one, the patakas, and the other, the very calm weather condition, and there was a forecast that is going to get worse, and it did. Now the question is, how quickly can we come down? And the message that is very clear from this experience, this one-off ban does not work. Even though we are saying that if there was no ban, it would have been worse. So in a way, to some extent, it has helped. But if you are looking for a longer term solution, then we need more sustained action, and therefore we will plead that the Supreme Court's order as well, that you come up with a strategy, a longer term strategy, with regulation and standards and phase down.
Crackers was sort of step one, but there's just so much else that we need, that needs to go into it.
If we need a comprehensive action plan and the graded response action plan to kick off very quickly.
I'm going to get into that in just a bit. Before that, Shaina, you of the BJP, you're with us. And this is not just a story about Delhi anymore. It's about how India is going to deal with pollution. You're from Mumbai, and what the haze has been like in the city has been making headlines along with what's happened in Chennai. But do you believe that it's still a priority for anybody? The political parties, the Aam Aadmi, do we really care?
Firstly, let me please say that I am on this debate purely because I believe that breath is much more important, and if we have no breath, we have no belief left. So at the outset, as a Mumbaikar, I'd like to applaud all the Mumbaikars, because last night we saw such restraint, we saw such limited burning of firecrackers, because obviously the public has realized that this is a movement where their participation is much more important than any kind of legislation or any kind of administrative coercion. Now, I think that we need to also understand that we keep on talking about Diwali and limiting crackers to Diwali, but look at the amount of ostentatious weddings where you have firecrackers being burnt, burst, and at every nook and corner the kind of toxicity it causes for public at large. So I think this whole campaign has to be about a collective consciousness where every Indian realizes that the kind of hazards we cause is to ourselves in the name of so-called celebration. Even when it comes to Diwali, if I can just add one point, if we just change and shift focus from this, belief where we know that it is a festival of lights, we distinguish between what are toxic crackers and what are not, use maximum diyas, use other kinds of celebrationary
and these were the
movements, or rather should I say that something that becomes trendy in terms of celebrating a festival, so that we realize that Diwali is not a festival or the festival of crackers. There has never actually been this kind of an agenda to educate public, and I applaud our government for taking it on so seriously, for the honorable courts for giving their opinion, and for people's participation, because they realize
that's what we thought was happening here. I just interrupt you there, Shaina. That's what we thought was happening here in Delhi, because the build-up to Diwali was largely quiet, it was largely clear. That's what we thought was happening. Of course, till Diwali night, a different story really unfolded. But Ronak Sutaria of Urban Sciences, Ronak, come in here at this stage. You made a very valid point today on Twitter when you said, we're focusing only on what's happening in Delhi, but there are other cities choking. Shaina making the point that actually people were restrained in Mumbai. Then why did the kind of haze that we saw, why did that happen?
So yeah, Natasha, I think the point here is actually, and we've been tracking air pollution for the last 3-4 years, and also particularly the monitoring that's happening around air pollution monitoring. And we've seen that the number of monitors that the central government is running has remained the same actually. I mean, it's hovering between 70 to 80 monitors. That is nationwide. We are talking of, and according to the census of India, there are close to 500 towns which have a population of 100,000 and above, and about 50 plus towns which have a population of 1 million people and above. So we are saying that, we really, the kind of monitoring that we are doing is significantly less than what is required. So in terms of tracking what is really happening, we have no means of at present even figuring out what the situation is. The independent agencies are doing a handful of locations. We started doing Chennai and Kanpur and, and some critically polluted areas like Singrauli. But the fact remains, the central government needs to step up the monitoring. This should have been increasing. Why
is that not happening? Why is that not happening? Why? That's because it's sort of not on the front burner. Even now, we might be talking about it. But is pollution, is what we are breathing really a priority, you think?
So, it's very clear that at this stage, we are only seeing bottom-up pressure only in few cities like Delhi NCR, where there is a public angst and people are trying to build pressure for change. But we do not have a national air quality planning system today, which is going to make it mandatory for each and every city to comply with the air quality standard in a time-bound manner. That system does not exist. We do not hold anyone liable and accountable for the air quality of the city. You may penalize an industry.
That's a good point. Adarsh Shastri, come in here. No, we don't hold anyone accountable. It's toxic air we are breathing. Yes, it's making headlines. Yes, it's somewhat alarmist. But it's sort of nobody's problem. Nobody is blamed for it. It's nobody's election issue. It's really on nobody's agenda.
Well, actually, I agree that most of the government policies in the last few years have been reactive rather than proactive. And Delhi NCR being a case in point, I think we have taken the first step where not only did we put up about 35 monitors for monitoring air quality on a real-time basis, we have also taken steps like ensuring that the trucks don't come in, in Delhi, those who have goods not meant for Delhi. We have ensured that there is vacuuming of roads. I think Delhi is the only city in India today that has vacuuming of the roads in progress. We shut down the Badapur coal plant, which with the thermal coal plant, which was shut down by the Delhi government. So I think those steps have been taken, but obviously they are not enough. I think a long-term planning mechanism needs to be in place.